The reason that we did 2 shows was really, as a director, I wanted to go on a journey with the actors and experience what it was like to get into the rehearsal room again, because we worked together at university, but it's been a long time since we've been together. So I wanted to experiment working through texts, working on devised pieces, working on a lot of different aspects of the theatre world, bringing different methods from different practitioners and seeing what we liked, what we enjoyed, what we didn't like, and really build ourselves as actors with kind of a set kind of boundary of where we could go with it in terms of text, and creating a world out of that. And then we wanted to have the freedom of creating our own entire show where we could kind of go anywhere with it. So it kind of came from that, and it made sense to explore and experiment and create these 2 very different shows, but they still link together because they both look at mental health and what that means for us in the modern world and as people and as individuals. It's been a really interesting experience. So the Greater Manchester Fringe has been running for 8 years. So I decided to look into it, decided to sign up, and they were very welcoming. It's been a great experience being able to be part of something that is so big. It really offers an opportunity for actors and musicians or any kind of talent in Manchester or around Manchester to put on a show and go into it with kind of whatever they want to bring. So it's very diverse. There's a huge range of different shows that are on in the Fringe, which they all look so interesting. They're all got their own voice, and it's a really great way for talent of all types, of all ages, to have a platform to show the work that they've produced, and especially for us as like young actors and as a director, it's a really great way to show your talent and who you are and what you want to do and put it out there in the world, which is quite a difficult opportunity to find venues and find the marketing materials, which the Greater Manchester Fringe definitely have helped a lot with. So the biggest challenge from a director aspect is definitely having the acting side of it. So I've really had to work hard to look at the vision of both shows, see where we're taking it, how we're taking it, why we're taking it, the way that we are. So for Little One, I had quite a strong vision from the start, and I told that to the actors and said, this is what I want to do with it, and I think we was all on board very quick, so I was able to switch to the acting side of that quite easily because I'd already set the vision as a director. Whereas I Spy, our second show, we kind of created that along the way. So as a director, I was having to be the outside eye at the same time as being in certain parts of it. Good to self-reflect and evaluate your acting style, who you are, the way, the decisions that you make, how does that impact. And I think it's great because from the workshops earlier on as a group, we had this chemistry and this build of like when you're acting, you feel it with the other person on stage, so you kind of get this feeling of when it's going right and how it's going, and we've been able to really build that chemistry together as actors, so you feel the electric when you're on stage. There's a scene with one of the actors where she does something that's quite so Claire is a very crazy character and she does a lot of things that are very out there, and Aaron is having to deal with that as a person. He's having to understand why his sister's doing this, and he's trying to, at the same time as growing up, and he's the good one, he's always the responsible one. His mum and dad rely on him to be the normal one as such, and she's allowed to kind of go as crazy as she wants, and she seems to get away with it. But there's one scene where she maybe goes a little bit too far, and the scene on stage between me and the other actor that do that is quite fun to act. My main character in I Spy is a gay character that lives in this futuristic world where gay people have been labelled yellow hats, and they have to wear a yellow hat to be identified, much in the way of Jews during the war, that they had to wear the yellow star. It's that same concept, but it's twisted around, and it's in the future, and it's gay people have suddenly become this ostracised group of people, and they're living in a world that is reflected of today's where they are being killed, they're being thrown off buildings, they're being stoned to death, and my character is one of those people that live in that world, and he's kind of become a yellow hat revolutionary. And there's a scene where I wear heels and I've got a wig on and I'm playing this very flamboyant character, but it's very interesting for me because it is different to myself, but it's also a very true part of myself of exploring that the effeminate side of myself and being able to kind of look at gender in a different way. So this is a really fun part to play. You can catch these shows as part of the Greater Manchester Fringe. We have our first show on Tuesday the 9th of July at Lock 91. Then we have 2 shows on the 12th and 13th at the Eagle Inn in Salford. And then we have our final show back at Lock 91 on the 17th, which is a Wednesday. They're all at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are £10 for full price. That's 2 shows for £10 and then £8 for concessions. So